Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are taking a really granular look at a brand new online platform. It's designed specifically for independent filmmakers.
That's right.
Our mission really is to analyze the source material we've got. These are excerpts from a monthly Q&A hosted by IndieFilmProfessor.com about their big initiative, the FilmLab. And we want to uncover exactly what this space promises the creative community.
Yeah, and what we have here, it's essentially the architects of the platform laying out their own vision.
Right.
And they're making a pretty strong claim.
Riches.
The core concept they're pitching is that the FilmLab is far more than just, a website or a standard learning system. They actually call it a creative ecosystem.
Creative ecosystem. Okay, that's a fantastic tagline. I'll give them that.
It is.
But our job here is to move past the marketing buzz, right? How do the sources actually back that up? Is this structurally different? Is it just another library of video masterclasses? Or does the architecture really support this ecosystem idea?
And that is the crucial question. Because if you look at most online offerings today, they're basically, an LMS, a learning management system.
Right, standard stuff.
Yeah, typically rigid, focused on delivering static videos, maybe some quizzes, tracking progress, the drill. They're great for consumption, but honestly, terrible for collaboration. So the sources claim they're moving beyond that kind of sterile environment. They're suggesting the goal of this deep dive is to unpack what this platform truly offers you, the filmmaker, someone focused on developing your tools, your talents, and your training.
Okay, let's unpack this then. What, at its absolute core, is the ultimate mission of the FilmLab, according to the people actually building it?
Well, their mission seems deeply ambitious. They are explicitly trying to solve that problem of isolation, the one so many independent creators face.
Yeah, I see that here. They state clearly that they aim to be part classroom, part workshop, part studio. So they aren't settling for just being a repository of educational videos. They want this, holistic environment built to help creators learn skills, sure, but also collaborate effectively. And this seems key thrive independently in their careers.
It's a big goal.
And the 10-second takeaway they seem to want you to get is that this is explicitly a home for filmmakers. They've clearly put significant effort into making sure that the moment you land, you feel like, okay, this space was built by filmmakers for filmmakers. The language they use is all about assurance, like, you belong here, let's make something together.
And what's insightful about that vision, I think, is that it fundamentally shifts the user expectation. It's not just, I'm here to watch a lesson and leave.
Right.
It's about becoming an active participant in a working peer-to-peer community. That synthesis, they're aiming for that unique balance of supporting independent creators while also fostering collaboration. That's the real ambition here, this integrated community idea.
That makes sense.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, in independent film, this model directly addresses that known issue of isolation. It's so common in remote learning.
Absolutely.
Filmmaking is inherently collaborative, right? Yet most online training forces you into a solo activity. By building a home, they're intentionally trying to bridge that gap, provide that structured connection, that shared creative space that independent creators, especially remote ones, desperately need.
Okay, so if the vision is the home, the next logical step is to look at the blueprint, the architecture.
Yeah, the bones of the place.
How is the digital space actually structured to reflect how filmmakers work? Because that's often messy, nonlinear, not like a neat database structure.
Totally.
The sources detail that the content itself follows more of a project-based workflow, so the lessons cover core craft skills directing, cinematography, sound, production. But they're all supported by high-quality, real-world examples.
Which suggests they're thinking practically about application, not just abstract theory.
Exactly. It proves their focus on how you'd actually use this stuff.
And that alignment with practical, real-world workflow is critical. It suggests the designers prioritized immediate applicability. They aren't just teaching you what a concept is, but how to use it, like today, on your next low-budget set.
Right. And here's where the design gets really specific and I think quite interesting. It's where they address the conversational nature of filmmaking head-on. The naming conventions for their community areas.
Yes.
They aren't just generic message boards or community forums. They are named the garage and the cantina.
And that choice of naming is absolutely a deliberate design feature. It tells us everything about their user experience priority.
How so?
Well, think about it. The garage, it perfectly mimics that physical space where you huddle together to solve hard technical problems. Debating lens choices, troubleshooting a camera rig, hashing out sound design issues late at night.
Okay, yeah, I get that. The nitty-gritty space.
Exactly. And the cantina. That's the social hub. The casual space for networking, sharing your finished work, and maybe most importantly for an indie filmmaker, finding collaborators. A DP, a sound mixer, maybe a script editor who gets your vision.
That distinction feels really key. If you're an independent filmmaker struggling to find crew or just peers to bounce ideas off, a generic forum often feels useless, right?
Completely.
But a designated casual space like the cantina seems designed specifically to encourage those essential, informal networking connections, the kind that actually lead to projects getting made.
Absolutely. And the overall layout, they describe it as clean, cinematic, built to minimize friction and maximize inspiration.
So less clicking, more creating.
That's the goal. They want the user to feel like they're interacting within a creative studio. So visual appeal, ease of navigation, those are paramount. The focus stays on the visual, the collaborative, the project-based work. It directly addresses the creative workflow instead of making you wrestle with the platform itself.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, let's move past the overall structure and feel. Let's get into the actual learning experience. How did they help you move from just seeing a lesson, watching a video, to actively doing the work?
Right.
That's where these interactive components come in. They call them widgets.
Yeah, and this is where the platform really aims to functionally move beyond that standard LMS model we talked about earlier. The sources are clear. Learning has to be active, not passive.
So these widgets, they're embedded features placed directly onto each lesson page.
That's it. Think of things like short quizzes maybe, but more importantly, detailed clip breakdowns where you can literally see the before and after of a shot.
Oh, cool.
Or lighting diagrams you can download, discussion threads tied specifically to that one concept you just learned. They're designed to transform a linear lesson into more of an interactive lab.
Can you give an example? Make it concrete.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say you watch a lesson on achieving cinematic depth using specific camera movements. Instead of just taking notes, the widget right there might offer, say, a downloadable camera plot showing the move, or maybe a lighting diagram detailing the exact setup used in the example clip you just saw.
So it's instant application.
Exactly. You can immediately reference the diagram, maybe try to replicate it with whatever gear you have, and then potentially share your attempt in the discussion thread right there for feedback.
It's about instant accountability, maybe, and application. That immediate feedback loop is so crucial for actually developing skills.
Yes, and that transformation from passive learning into active networking and creative growth, that's the whole point of this holistic environment idea. Interaction is absolutely central.
So it's baked in.
And this interaction isn't just, theoretical. It's meant to be practical.
Yeah.
Members are encouraged to share progress on their actual projects, ask for feedback on raw footage, collaborate through those spaces like the garage.
Right, the practical spaces.
The intention seems clear. You don't just finish a module on cinematography theory. You ideally walk away with a specific lighting setup you've tried, maybe refined by peer review, and potentially a connection to another filmmaker who helped you.
That being said, we should probably acknowledge this is a living thing, right? An evolving ecosystem. The sources are pretty clear that the platform is still in active development.
True. Important caveat.
While the core stuff, lessons, discussions, podcast access is fully live, some of the more advanced, maybe gamified community features are still rolling out. Things like building a full creative profile, earning badges for skills, getting project credits. That's coming soon.
So it's an evolving space, definitely. But the foundational tools, the ones for collaboration, they seem to be in place right now, which is probably a good sign they prioritized utility first, advanced features second.
Seems like it. Okay, absolutely. So let's guide the listener through that initial experience. If you decide, okay, I want to check out this integrated community, what's the user flow like? How do you get started?
Well, according to the sources, the flow is designed for immersion, no confusion, just discovery. That's their mantra for it.
Okay.
So you land on the main page, you scroll through the latest labs or lessons that catch your eye, you click in, and supposedly within minutes, you should be immersed in a video or one of those interactive widgets, or maybe a live discussion that's happening.
And getting in the door, is it complicated?
No, and this is critical, I think. Access is easy. It speaks to their desire to build a broad base. If the core content looks interesting, Becoming a free member is apparently straightforward, requires basically no commitment beyond giving an email address.
Oh, low barrier to entry.
Exactly. For content consumption and that initial community access, keeping that barrier low feels strategic. It's about building trust first.
Okay, so what does this all mean for someone listening right now who wants to jump in and get started? The sources lay out 3 specific access points. You start at IndieFilmProfessor.com, click on the memberships, and they've created 3 clear tiers.
Yeah, tiers of engagement, each with a specific purpose. It looks like a very strategic funnel system, actually, designed to offer real value before asking for any deeper commitment.
Okay, so tier 1.
Tier 1 is the foundation. This is the free, totally open access area. Think of it as the browsing stage.
Yeah.
Select lessons, podcasts, articles are available here. It's the entry point for anyone just wanting to sample the content quality, see if it resonates.
Got it. Browsing level. Then tier 2.
Tier 2 is the catalyst.
Oh.
And this seems like the critical next step. It's also free, which is interesting.
Still free.
Still free, but it's the mandatory membership community where the real collaboration is meant to take off. This is where you unlock the ability to properly interact in the cantina and the garage. Share your progress, network, give, and get feedback.
So the interaction layer requires sign up, even if it's free.
Exactly. And that catalyst tier is fascinating from a platform design perspective. By making the collaboration space free, but requiring that email sign-up, they're strategically curating the community, aren't they?
How do you mean?
Well, they ensure that people engaging in those critical feedback loops have at least put some minimal skin in the game by registering. It probably helps manage the quality and seriousness of the collaboration, builds trust, and ensures the community is populated by people who are actually participating, not just lurking.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, and finally, the premium tier.
Right. Tier 3 is the Forge. That's positioned for those who really believe in the mission of the platform, who want the advanced membership features. This tier gives access to those soon-to-be rolled-out elements we mentioned, the detailed profiles, maybe special courses, the recognition stuff like badges and credits.
So foundation to browse, catalyst to collaborate, forge to go deeper.
Precisely. And that layered approach, starting with completely open content in the foundation, moving to the free but registered collaborative space in the catalyst, it feels deliberately designed to demonstrate practical value and build that community trust before ever asking for a premium payment. It's like community building through utility.
Okay, that brings us nicely to our final synthesis of this deep dive. We've looked at the design, aiming for cinematic, low friction. We've explored the overall vision, trying to be a genuinely integrated community, not just a static library. And we've mapped out the structured paths for engagement: foundation, catalyst, and forge.
And I think the biggest takeaway, for me anyway, is how intentionally structured this site seems to be. It really tries to mimic the collaborative, sometimes chaotic, but absolutely essential informal interaction of real filmmaking life.
Yeah.
Using those specific namespaces like the garage and the cantina isn't just cute branding, it's functional. It's meant to facilitate applied learning, networking, actual project development, moving way beyond just presenting lectures online.
Yeah.
It's about creating a shared digital workspace.
Exactly. It feels like an attempt to capture the energy, the productivity of that late-night coffee shop brainstorm or that hands-on technical workshop and make it scalable for independent creators anywhere in the world.
Well put.
So, considering the platform's heavy emphasis on moving from seeing to doing, using those interactive widgets, the lighting diagrams, the clip breakdowns, the project discussion spaces, here's a final thought for you, the listener. What specific real-world project would you use that immediate applied functionality for first? That's maybe something to think about as you start your own exploration.